Hey there, Mission Control. We continue our I'm Not a Botanist series, and today we're going to be looking at potatoes, which you can see are growing a lot, at least their plants are. Now, these have been in here for longer than the time suggested for them to mature. So today I'm actually going to rip some of them up. Now, originally, you may be remembering I was going to try to do what we call the Martian Challenge this year, and I'm still hoping to get to that. But with how crazy my life has gotten, I have just not been able to spend any time out here at all, really, working on anything. So we got to get caught up with life, you might say. That means originally I was going to harvest these potatoes for the Martian Challenge, and there was going to be a big unveiling, and we're going to see if I was going to eat or not eat. Today we're going to do that same unveiling, but there won't be the Martian Challenge. Instead, we're going to talk about the health of the plants. Now, these plants in general have grown really, really well. Even under the lights, like this is just overgrowth, we just let them go. But under the lights, they grew well. On this side where they didn't have as much access to sunlight, they stayed in the bed. On that side, which is the south side, there was a lot of sunlight and they grew out of the bed, similar to the broccoli and cauliflower. But they appear to be doing all right as far as light goes. So now the big question is, how'd they do underneath and actually making potatoes? So you can see we have tons of growth, just absolutely tons and tons and tons of growth here. But I don't know what's underneath as far as potatoes go. So here's our first plant. And what are we gonna have here? I've never harvested a potato in my life. Oops, I don't think that's the way you're supposed to do it. Okay. They already did flower, by the way. They all flowered, everything flowered. And you're supposed to let them, after they flower, kind of die out. And we started letting them do that. So let's see here. Are we going to have potatoes? That's the big question. There's lots of roots down here. But you know what I'm not seeing is I'm not seeing a lot of potatoes. Boy, the roots though, they went everywhere. Roots went everywhere, but we got no spuds. No spuds. There's the seed. The little red wigglers did their job. They ate the seed really well, but we got no spuds off those roots. But as you can see, everything is really growing. So what is causing that? What is the problem? We didn't even have, there was no buds on there at all, like no little things. You know, people are like, oh, it won't expand, you know, they won't be able to grow in the lava rock because the lava rock's too heavy. But we didn't even see anything on there. And we've had beets and carrots growing in the system. The beets and carrots can grow in this system. You'd think that potatoes would be able to grow in the system. Now look at this, just look at that growth off of there. Lots of it. Just a ton of growth, but no spuds. Let's hope this one does better. Let's see here. There's the shell from the seed. Some close-ups here. I think right there, I think those are potatoes that would have started growing. But these have been in here for a long time. So now these look like maybe those are potato starts starting to do their thing. But that's totally not, I mean, that's a total fail. So far, I mean, that looks like where the potatoes would be at, right? Those look like them. These have been in here for over 90 days and we got no spuds. So that's not good. Okay, that's all from the other side. Wow, that's a big plant. Okay, next. Where's the next guy at here? Boy, if only. So the anaerobic digester would be really happy if we had our shredder in place, which is something I also haven't been able to get to. And because all this stuff would all go into the digester per the system design. Oh, we got a potato! Oh, we got a potato! Okay, hey, we got some. That off of there. Keep my rocks. Okay, so yeah, all right, you can grow potatoes in aquaponics. We just need to figure it out. So here we go. Look at that growth. There's the potatoes. Here's a potato. And another potato. Well, they're not big, but they're Martian aquaponically grown potatoes in lava rock. And these ones were going. So I think what this means is we just need to figure out how to do this, because obviously it can work. So now I'm really curious as to if this might be a light induced thing. So, well, we got more to harvest, so let's keep going. Those might have been small, but they were mighty awesome, because we grew them right here. And you got to start small, right? Oh my goodness, look at all this plant life. You know, it's just huge. There's a bunch of plant. There's just not a lot of potatoes. So what is the cause of that? Why would you have so much plant growth? I mean, look at it, it's all over. But hardly any spuds down below. What's causing that? Help me out, because I ain't no botanist. Definitely wondering what we're doing wrong here. We got stuff that indicates success is possible, but we're obviously not doing something right. But we got, my goodness, look at all this. Look at all that. That is a lot of bush. Not a lot of spuds, though. I mean, that, obviously stuff grows, but what we're not getting is fruiting. I think that's probably a general observation right now, is that we're short on fruiting. Not just fruit, but any plant really. So I'd love to find a team member who's passionate about this project like what we are, is willing to go in with us and help, that was a botanist, you know, or a master grower, maybe not a botanist, but someone that has all that experience. A real partner, because I think I can handle dealing with people telling me what's wrong and needing to fix it and come up with systems to do that. That's really my strength. One of my strengths, I should say. And then, but I have no way to know what's going on with plants. It'd take me a long time to get up to speed. That's something that's a real skill. I really respect people who are out there farming, and you know, they can walk up to a plant and they're like, okay, yep, that's what's wrong, you know, it's missing this. And that's usually multi-generational, you know, folks putting stuff down, and teaching, or handing stuff down, teaching it to their kids generation after generation. So I just don't have that knowledge. My goodness, look at that. There's just so much. Okay, here we go. This one could be good. Let's see more. There's just so much stuff here. Okay. Boy, harvest is obviously, this is kind of a pain. My goodness. All right, so let's move this out of the way. Rocks out. Excuse me. Well, this one feels like it might have something in it. Now this side had a lot more light, so that could come into play here. Not really any potatoes though. Like, golly, you know, they just, looks like they needed to go longer, is what appears to be the case. Lots of roots down there. It sank roots down way deep down in. But again, the spuds are just starting to happen here, which is way too long. They should have been mature a while ago. I did get one decent sized one, but you can see the others there. They're just really small. So light has nothing to do with it on that one. Same thing. The spuds were starting to grow. Way too long though. Took way too long to get there. We had lots of growth, lots of potential there. I think one of the things I may have not done, maybe you really do have to do that stacking up, you know, thing. Maybe that was a problem. I didn't do that. Nothing on that one. So these are the ones that were in the sunlight the most, and they have hardly anything on them. So I don't think it was a light deficiency. There you go, this is the last one we're pulling up right now. We got the spuds growing there, but just not growing very well. Well, I got quite the mess to clean up here. What's wrong? What do we do wrong with the potatoes? They can definitely push the rock out of the way. That's not a problem. We've seen the carrots push it out of the way. We've seen the beets push it out of the way. So I don't think it's the rocks. The roots certainly expanded well into the rocks. As far as watering level, I actually had the water level down around here. When we first started, I brought it up here, but as I got a lot of starts, I moved that water level down. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. So, I'm not a botanist. Please help me figure out what's going on with the potatoes. We've got a whole, let me show you. After a few months of growing, here's what we got for our potatoes. I'm inclined to replant these. They were already starting to sprout on their own. But that's certainly not enough to live on. And if I was in the Martian Challenge right now, I would be really, really, really unhappy. So, I guess God had a plan there. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Patreon. In the meantime, this is The Real Martian with my Martian potatoes. Real cute little potatoes. Out.